Hello everybody and welcome back to DrivesBMW. In today's episode we're going to dive into our long-term review of the iX1 after my first 10,000 kilometers with that car, and I'm going to unveil 5 things that I absolutely love about the car and 5 gripes that I have surfaced during my journey. So buckle up and let's go. So first up, let's talk about comfort. The iX1 offers a luxurious and spacious interior which is perfect for long-distance driving. The seats are plush and supportive, and the cabin in general is whisper quiet, which is providing a serene driving experience. I would like to point out that those seats actually come with a massage function, which I appreciate especially on longer trips, in traffic jams, and of course at the charging station. Next on our list is the acceleration. The iX1 has 2 electric motors, providing such an amount of torque that you literally feel a punch if you step on the throttle. And this comes in handy whether you are merging onto the highway or overtaking slower vehicles. By the way, if somebody is tailgating you, for instance, you just pull that little boost pedal over here and you disappear. Now honestly, it's pure fun to drive. The car not only is fast, it also looks fast. Especially if you choose the M Sport Package Pro, you get a bully looking front, a spoiler on the back, red painted brake calipers, and of course the M badge and red blue M stitching on the belts as well. Now let's talk about the screen. The iX1 comes with a modern and big curved display. The screen is crisp and clear, the user interface is easy to use, pretty intuitive, navigation, everything is easily accessible, and there is also a driving assistant, which I particularly like on longer trips because I just have to have my hands on the steering wheel and the car takes care of the rest. And that works pretty fine. It has a blind spot warning and stuff, and you're just more or less supervising the car not to make any mistakes. By the way, did you know that BMW actually was the first car brand introducing the head-up display back in 2003? And that's also something I wouldn't want to miss today. Moving on to our gripes, let's discuss the reach of the iX1. That car is able to get up to 400 kilometers with one battery charge. But that, of course, is a best-case scenario. Me personally, I was driving around 280 up to 350 kilometers with one battery charge, depending on temperatures outside and my driving style, of course. There are models with better reach at the moment, but BMW has already announced to improve that with the introduction of the Neue Klasse next year. Of course, battery technologies are advancing fast and reaches are getting bigger and bigger. Now, another little gripe that we have surfaced is the charging speed of the iX1. The car is able to charge with up to 135 kilowatts at a supercharger, which is pretty fast already. The charger itself is able to provide up to 300 kilowatts, and there are other cars that are able to charge faster, like the Tesla Model Y, for instance, which is able to charge with, I think, 250 kilowatts. So I'm not saying 135 is slow. It's not slow at all. I'm just saying that this might be something to improve in future. Like in any battery electric vehicle, the car is very heavy. The iX1 weighs around 2.5 tons, and you're gonna feel that weight, especially if you do heavy braking, if you're turning into hairpins, for instance, and of course if you're driving on snow, because the braking distance just gets way longer compared to a combustion vehicle. If you want to know how the iX1 has performed in snow, check out the video right here. And something I would like to say is that the drivability of the car is still very good despite its weight, since the batteries are stored in the bottom of the car, which means that the center of gravity is very low to the ground. Now, another little drawback BMW cars have is the fact that they don't have a trunk in the front, or a frunk as some people call it. The reason for that is pretty simple. BMW uses the same platform for the electrical cars as they do for the combustion versions of the car, so they just don't have the space yet. But who knows, this might be something that's coming with the Neue Klasse in 2025 as well. Now finally, let's address the absence of physical buttons in the car. Of course, that minimalist design may be aesthetically pleasing, but some drivers might find themselves wishing for physical buttons because of the feedback for essential functions. Me personally, I love the BMW iDrive knob, which this car obviously hasn't, and since you have to do most of the interactions via language control, or in my case via the touch screen, you end up having fingerprints everywhere, which is why I recommend always having a set of wet wipes ready in your glove box. Why do I prefer physical buttons? It's pretty simple. If you're pressing a physical button, you can sort of guessing where the button is and which knob you need to turn or whatever. Let's take the example of the AC control, for instance. If you have a touch screen, you have no idea where you are going with your hand if you're not watching the screen. And that's kind of the point. You have to take the eyes off the road in order to change the fan speed, for instance. Or you just use the language control. But that's why I personally prefer physical buttons over a screen-only solution. But I have to say that, of course, there are buttons, just not for every function as we were used to in older cars. Now, there we have it. That's the long-term review of the BMW iX1 after having driven it for over 10,000 kilometers. And despite a few gripes, I can fully recommend that car. I was very happy with it and I enjoyed every second of driving it. If you enjoyed watching that video, make sure to give it a quick thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're up for more BMW content. I would definitely love to see you back next time. And that being said, I wish you a wonderful day and take care.